Hey, everybody, welcome to the Tech-Mex Podcast. We're your hosts, Eric and Mando. This is episode 104, number 104. We're bringing you the top stories in Bitcoin tech and wealth so you can better negotiate your next big payday. Dale.
You know what is cool though?
What's cool?
$1 trillion, man.
$1 trillion. I know who finds it pretty cool. I think our buddy Musk over there is finding it pretty cool. In fact, I saw him dancing the other day.
Holy shit, man. It's so awkward.
It don't matter. He's got that FU money, right?
Yeah.
The biggest FU money ever. And he's got his little go-go doll here there dancing too. And you can tell that's not a human in there dancing. That's an actual robot.
But you can see how in that video, the degrees of freedom of the Optimus is very robotized compared to the different robots that they have been out there. And we'll discuss most further, but let's focus on the $1 trillion. Dude, I was looking into it, and it's like it is tied to making sure that Tesla it reaches 8.5 trillions. So, but it's a huge percentage. I mean, seriously, it's like because a lot of it, I was trying to figure out, are they gonna truly give them a big check?
They're going to walk out with a big paper check with $1 trillion written, and they're like holding it up on. Yeah,
exactly. No, exactly. That's not what is going to happen. They're going to give it to him in form of a stock for several years, right? So let me see. You see in the news?
Yes. So it says it's going to be. So the package, it's going to be all stock, and it's going to be tied to achieving 12 tranches of milestones over 10 years. So it's going to be over a 10-year mark, divided up into 12 different packages. So, 10 years, you get another decade of Elon leading Tesla there. Yeah, it's not a bad deal. $1 trillion. It's 100 billion a year. That's not that bad, right?
Nice paycheck.
When you look at it that way, it seems like you're getting a deal.
I mean, the goals are pretty tough, right? I mean, this is no wonder why they are willing to do that, because he has to deliver 1 million Optimus robots sold and shipped. So it's not like only created them, right? And also 1 million robot taxis in operation. Right now, we only have robot taxis in San Francisco and in Austin, Texas.
There's
So,
like, what,
and
100 of
also,
them?
and the third one is 400 billions adjusted EBITDA, right? For over 4 quarters. So it will for sure, it will make Tesla almost close to the 10 trillion, right? To be exact, 8.5, but I mean, at that point, it's an 8 trillion company, right? I mean, again, this is like the AI revolution, and if Elon is pushing it through, he's in the forehead of that. So, do you think that he can achieve it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so if you think about it, right now they're at a little bit over 1 million or 1 trillion, sorry, $1 trillion company. So they're 1.3, $1.4 trillion. If their goal is to be $8.5 trillion, that's maybe what a 6x or something like that from here. So 6x in 10 years, I certainly think that's doable.
Dude, you miss an opportunity there. 6, 7.
6, 7.
Like the kids. Oh man! Like, I just see the kids every time that they hear that, they like just go like bananas, right?
6, 7x. I think he can do it. I think he's done a pretty good job so far. I mean, he's definitely had some missteps. Tesla would have already been higher if not for those missteps, but hopefully he continues to take that step back and focus more so on his companies rather than politics. I think it should be smooth sailing, but we know he likes to do what he wants to do, so that's not a given, right? That's not a given ever. So
the other part that was surprising about this though is that the majority of the board, 75% voted
Yes.
in favor. So it's like he has a very strong support from the board, which is I mean, remember, the board sometimes kicks people out. Like last year, Sam Altman got kicked out by his own board. Steve Jobs, we mentioned it in the same videos on that
Mm-hmm.
topic. He got kicked out. So right now he has I guess, almost he feels like he has a cult following, like a
Mm-hmm.
musketeer. I know that you're a musketeer, Ramirez.
Musketeer. I wouldn't go that far. I do still have that sticker on my truck that has him in that pink suit back when he was still trying to do Doge. That's still recent memory. So like I didn't like all of that stuff that he was trying to do. So not fully. I'm not fully there. But you know what? I think taking a step back and taking a look at this kind of in the bigger picture of things, I think a lot of people have now kind of bought into this idea that Tesla can be more than just a car company. I
Hmm.
think we've known it and we've seen it that it's more than just a car company. And on Wall Street, I think there's always been a debate: should Tesla be graded basically as just a car company, or is it more than that? And I think this kind of shows that yes, Elon certainly believes that Tesla is much more than just a car company or an auto company. He's establishing Tesla as being an AI and a robotics powerhouse, right? So I think we'll see that transition, and not that they're going to stop making cars, but it may become just like their smallest part of the company. I think he said that he's saying that robotics is going to dwarf what he's done with the Tesla vehicles. So it'll be pretty interesting how he's going to be able to tie everything together.
Yeah. Also, an important part with technology is the landscape on the government. So, if you notice, in the previous time, Delaware was giving them a hard time. It's like, no, you shouldn't be paying this guy. I totally think that it was totally unfair, right? Because the guy, it's a contract, it's an agreement, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the guy achieved the goals in that time, and he deserved the amount of money that he's supposed to. And they are planning. I think that they reincorporated in Texas base, so that way didn't that shit didn't happen to them, right? So kudos for Texas, right? Yeah,
Made it happen.
made it happen. So which that's the other thing that he also. We know what was happening with his bromance with the current administration. It fell apart a little bit, but it's like that's the nice thing about sometimes, man. Like you just punch, the people that yeah, and then you're just getting a beat again.
Yeah, I think so. Their bromance will spark up again soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Because once again, they both of them, believe it or not, they need each other in a way, right? Like um, Elon, the way that he's pushing technology and AI, and the government wants to keep investing in AI. So it's only few people that they can do that, right? Your friend, how do you call him, Juan?
From
Jensen Juan.
Nvidia. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So I was when I was thinking this, like, man, this Elon is already unstoppable. But I was thinking, who do you think that is the only person that will stop Elon?
Stop him, or
Hmm.
like you mean like compete with him?
No, stop him.
Stop him.
Hmm.
I don't know who wants to stop him.
I think that is gonna be
Himself.
himself.
Yeah,
Himself.
himself is
It's just
really.
it's just his freaking
Yeah.
health. Like he needs to
Hmm.
pay attention to his health. Like the guy might get a freaking heart attack, or like it's. I feel that it's like these guys. I was thinking that he reminded me Steve, but he's not Steve. I feel that he's more like a. Do you remember that guy in the movie? There was a movie with I think that was DiCaprio. Um, what is this movie?
Titanic,
Not.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
No, there is a villain that he went uh,
Oh, the Howard
Howard
Johnson
Hughes. Howard
or Howard
Hughes.
Hughes. Howard
Yeah,
Hughes.
Howard Hughes. It reminds me, because the guy was about airplanes, and the guy will drive the airplanes, and he didn't care, right? But at the end, he became like a little bit cuckoo. So
Yeah, something.
uh,
Became
I,
obsessive about stuff and like a bubble and everything had to be clean or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
So
vaguely remember. That guy was from Houston, right? Or at
I
least
don't
from
know though. I don't
Texas.
know. I don't know very well the story. I just but the guy is still like he's still like there is some buildings and he has still a company and he was the wealth. There's some wealth there that is still there on Howard Hughes. But it
Hmm.
reminds me these like this type of human beings that they it's just innovation, right? And they just push it through with the limits. So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that maybe that's the point here. He just needs to watch his health.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely something we've seen. I mean, we've had the discussion here before. Is like, come on, is he on something? And we've seen the whole thing where he's been on all the social stuff where they say he's been on ketamine and all kinds of stuff. He's doing the reboot in the White House and stuff, and has like mystery black eyes and stuff like that. So there's something going on behind the scenes. I don't think he's just tripping and walking into a doorknob there. It's just so yes, you're right. He's got to keep up with his health because I mean, if you think about this, if this AI race is going to be like the next Cold War that the U.S. is having with the rest of the world and or different competition around the world, we're electing Elon to be the next wartime CEO, as this whole AI revolution really takes hold. So he's going to be the one that's leading the US through this, and hopefully him and our buddy Jensen Huang from NVIDIA can collaborate and really, along with others like Sam Altman and stuff like that, help get us through this point where we try and keep the lead just because I would assume we still have the lead, but there's other countries that are nipping at our heels here, and we got to keep up, right?
It looks like sometimes we cover a lot of Tesla, but they are the ones pushing technology forward. The other headline was basically the Optimus is the infinite money glitch, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Elon says that it will eliminate poverty, and I'm still thinking on that, right? Because like there is a debate on that. Like, okay, let's say that the machines are doing everything, like everything, right? Like they're
Yeah,
delivering your
how do you
groceries.
sell a $25,000 robot to solve poverty? Right?
The math is not computing, right? But I feel that when I go to Burning Man, the infrastructure is there and you don't need cash. It almost sounds like an utopia, and it's a glimpse to how
Socialism.
I feel that the only way I came from a socialist place with Mexico, right? And told me, I'll tell you, the system doesn't work. So, uh, I feel that doesn't work, and the same with communists. Have you heard I think that I mentioned it to you before, right? That there is Nassim Taleb says that you have to be communist with your family, socialist with your friends, and with everybody else capitalist.
Oh, it sounds familiar. I think I've heard it before. Yeah.
So I think that that's and the main reason why is because there are humans involved. But if you put the AI, then maybe like these ideas, because the AI will not. It has some biases, but it's very minuscule. Some of the biases. So I think that maybe those philosophies might play out. So maybe you can have the AI truly dividing who needs to get something. So going back to the money glitch and Burning Man, I can see a glimpse on the how a society could work, and just by operating it without a lot of money transactions. And we already kind of have it. It's just not so obvious to us. There is infrastructure for go to the bathroom or water. It's minuscule the amount of money that we're paying to have these services. We almost give it for granted, right? Lights, even if you're in the street, you're kind of not paying it. Yeah, sure, it's your taxes, but infrastructure is there. The streets, that is not like you just are not running on the freaking jungle. Right? There are streets, there are roads, there are lights, right? Because the government and subsidized through capitalism and all of that. So I feel that maybe that's what they are trying to convey. Not necessarily that they're trying to sell you the 25,000 robot.
Yeah, of course. I think there's going to be some people that want to buy it for themselves. Uh, People like us can afford a $25,000 home robot. Um, But I think what he's saying really is like he sees his vision, and in his plan he sees that there's going to be, let's say every person can have their own robot if they wanted to. And these robots, as a whole, if at that point we're saying there's going to be billions of robots, right? The amount of work that they can do is enough to lift us out of poverty, just because we will become that much more efficient. The cost of things are going to become a lot cheaper. You can have an army of robots building homes for just material costs, right? A lot of stuff right now, like if you're estimating things like that, the labor costs, you're going to double the material costs, just rule of thumb. So if that's the case, everything becomes cheaper by half at least, right? And then there's going to be economies of scale. You're going to have free labor makes things a lot. It's going to be just a lot cheaper. So uh,
I I always wanted to build my own castle.
robots,
So
man.
if I can just get maybe 5 robots, put them there for a couple of years, and let's see what they build.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you get into a piece of land that has clay, that has like wood, these machines can just keep doing it, right? Like in the old time, right? You provide certain minimum infrastructure to create bricks. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it can create this shit, right? So it sounds like a pipe dream, but in 10, 15 years, I can see it be doable that a robot can build a house um, with the proper equipment. So I think that they might be into something. But the other thing that they were saying is that you can get a top-notch healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a lot of boomers, right? That they hold the majority of the cash because they have saved it and all of that, and that was the other one that could be. And I think that maybe that will be one of the first use cases to be your
Yeah.
Optimus nurse.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Right now, one of the bigger things is concierge medicine. So you don't have to go to the hospital or to the office to go get your checkups and things like that. They come to you, right? We were talking about this earlier. You have a nurse come to you, you have a doctor come to you. So imagine if it's just a robot and it doesn't need to come to you because it lives with you. you know, your personal home, your family robot can be your doctor, your accountant, your whatever it is that your surgeon, whatever you need it to be. It's going to be able to have all that knowledge. It'll be able to do more preventative medicine versus treatment, which is what we have right now. We wait till you get sick and then we treat you. So it should be a different world, right? In terms of like the medical costs that we have to pay right now as a country should go down because we're preventing a lot of stuff, right? It's going to cook for you, so you're going to be eating a lot healthier. You're not going to have to rely on fast food or junk food, bags of chips, and stuff like that. If the thing's going to be cooking for you, so we'll save a lot of money worldwide just because we're spending less on healthcare because hopefully people aren't getting as sick, right? So there's a lot of things, and tons of things that we're not even thinking of is going to help with, right? We're it's hard to see that far out, but yeah, I can totally see how it can help lift us out of poverty. But here's the thing: some people think that poverty is not just it's not just a symptom of I can't get a good job and make enough money. Um, there's a lot of folks that say, poverty is actually rooted in social and political structures. It's built that way. The systems have built that way to keep people down, to keep people poor. So the robotics itself may not address those issues, right? It'll address the labor issues, but it may not address those issues. And so I think, right, a lot of things will have to change for us to be able to say, okay, we have a ton of robots, they're able to generate all of this wealth. How do we make sure that everybody, all boats rise, right? That's what we're trying to say. That it should be able to rise all boats instead of it just being a few people, just the Sam Altmans of the world being able
Uh,
to reap what these robots are sowing.
that's what the basic universal income, right? But uh, on the idea, but also Elon is saying, no, no, no. it could be universal income, right? Like a more
Universal high income, or what does
I don't
Elon said? He's just talking about being high, but it's, yes, he says not basic, but a high income, which I think that's what the goal would be, right? We can do
I
basic income now. I think with robots, we should be able to do high income.
yeah, and I think that it's still that's the social problem. People don't know what to do with their free time, and even that they have let's say food cover and maybe shelter, right? Still like the interesting thing is like, well, maybe they should learn and they should become like somehow, but it removes a lot of the incentive. And when it removes the incentive, it's tough. Like people, some people say, yeah, I would like to travel. Like, are you gonna keep traveling? Like, are you gonna be like nomad?
There's only so many places that you really want to see.
And it's funny because people they dream, right, and they're okay. I mean, it's this America, you can dream whatever you want, but it's like when they
America.
do it, America, then you want to go back to your house, right, to your home, right? So there's a lot of things that's the part that it worries me, that people don't know what they are gonna do with so much free time if all of these needs are covered.
The Disney movie Wally is going to come true.
Yeah, I mean, if you notice in the movie, everybody was fat. They didn't even move. They just were watching TV, right? So that
Yeah.
wasn't the movie.
Or that other you haven't seen this one, the Idiocracy movie from
Mm,
early 2000s, I think maybe it was. You got
okay.
to watch it. It's funny. I mean, it's like cheesy comedy, but
Well,
it's, you could see how we might get to that point. You see some parallelisms right now, but I won't spoil it for you.
all right.
But yes, very true. So I think it's very very interesting, and on at the what was it called, that when at their show that they had, right, whatever, they had on the screen or on the wall sustainable abundance, and that was kind of one of the themes that Elon had pointed out, going along with this universal high income. Now I think a lot of it is true, but he could be painting this picture just because, he doesn't want people to be afraid of the robot takeover, right? He wants us to focus more on the sustainable abundance future versus the Terminator future, right? Because I think there a lot of, and for good reason, a lot of these AI leaders or leaders in this AI space have been saying, hey, we need to be careful. We need to be careful in the future because of alignment, right? We want to make sure that robots are aligned to humans staying alive, and so there's always been this thing that's kind of maybe hindering this whole positive message about robots, with this thing like, hey, they could take over in the opposite way, not helping us. So I think it's good to put both ways. I mean, Elon himself has said we've got to be careful with alignment. So I'm glad he's trying to balance his message now. Like, this is the bad that could happen, but this is also the good that could happen. Let's make sure that we end up on the happy side and not on the sad side by promoting this sustainable abundance message that he had at
For
the
sure.
shareholder meeting.
I mean, he's an entrepreneur, and in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to be optimistic. So you have to see an outlook that that is abundant and optimistic. So good, good for them. I mean, nice paychecks. He's able to negotiate that. So, and I think that he has a good shot on doing it. I think that he has all of the pieces there. There's some roadblocks in robotics that I haven't seen them. I have been playing lately the last few months on it. That I still see that they they have a secret sauce, and the secret sauce is basically how they're able to train them. Training the robots is not easy. Manufacturing it, you have seen it, right? Like Unit 3. And by the way, it was a sad week in my mind because the guys that I met in San Francisco from K-Scale, they actually are planning even to close it. So I'll create couple videos about that. But yeah, the guy sent us an email because I already ordered it, and basically returning the money. So I'll take a look to see if I can find more information, and I'll share in the podcast. Also, because I knew that that kind of was happening, Ramirez sent me the one for Neo, and I also kind of got into that, right? So we got very early on the purchase of the Neo, right? We should be at the top of the list.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think so. On on the same similarly, did you see the news this week of the new kid on the block here, XPeng, debuting a new form factor, if you want to call that form factor for humanoid robot that has a lot of people talking.
Dude, it's like because everybody was just doing like male look, and now they came out with a female. Do you have a video where she's walking?
Oh yeah, let me look one up. But I do want to point out, even the male one is like, look, it's kind of like muscular and stuff. It looks a little bit like me.
No, even in your dreams, Ramil.
That's funny. Hold on, let me pull up a video of this thing walking. Um, Xpeng Xpeng Iron, right?
Uh-huh. So while
Okay,
you're
here it is.
searching, yeah, you find it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Let me share real quick. Riverside's got to make it a little bit quicker to share because I got to click like 10 buttons here just to make this thing share. So, again, here's the Xpeng robot that they're calling Iron. A lot of people, when they saw this, they thought it was actually a human walking.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, there's a human under there. That's actually a robot. You could see kind of the movement. It's a little like jagged in some cases, but has a more human like walk there.
They call
They
them
call
the
them the
gate.
gate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has a more human like gait. And they're like, is there a human in there? And so they actually cut off the skin to show that it was actually a robot. You can see the metal leg. And you see they're peeling back the skin there. Skin. like cut off the leg there to show what's inside. Now do the other side. So this is the new kid on the block here for robots.
Dude, the Chinese are eating our lunch in robotics, man.
Yeah,
And then you now go back and see freaking like Optimus, and Optimus like, dude.
well, okay, we saw Optimus dancing earlier, so I mean that one
It's not as
it looked a
smooth.
little bit better, but it's not like this. It has
it-
different
it-
movements.
Dude, that's a human level like movement, right? So I was
Yeah.
looking into in a little bit of they call it the degrees of freedom and the number of joints that this thing has. So just to give you an idea, this robot it has about 60 joints, which basically there's going to be some sort of mechanics, whether it's an actuator or tendon look like, right? And the hands alone, it has 22 degrees of freedom. So you're almost looking into almost 72 degrees of freedom that this device, this robot can move. It's quite similar to how much we can move ourselves.
It's got a lot of flexible joints, but if you're wanting to get one of these flexible female bots, it's gonna cost you. It's 150,000 is what they're estimating. So you're paying a lot for these extra joints and for that flexibility of that body that you saw walking down the runway there. So
What was the movie
maybe they're going for a certain demographic. I don't know.
there was a movie that you was like, man, like Megan Fox.
Yeah, what was it? I don't remember.
The surveillance or
yeah,
surveillance,
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 6'7".
I don't know what the 6'7"
I
this
don't
had to
know.
do
It's
with
just like
it.
it seemed like it could fit there. I don't know. The
But a
Gen
hundred
Alpha
and
can let
fifty
me know.
k, a hundred and fifty k. It's a big difference from the 25k from Optimus. I don't know. I feel that I don't think that 150k, depending how easy it is to train it, um, because we know based on the K scale guys, they were trying to get actually the almost the cost is like 10k. Then you
Hmm.
have the Chinese guys saying that they can even get you one in 7k. So
Yeah,
maybe
R1. The Unitree R1 is 6K. They're saying, but it's a little
um,
smaller.
but
But
remember, the hardware itself maybe 6k, but the
mhm.
brain power, which is the Nvidia or whatever, just alone, that's gonna cost you
Yeah.
4 to 5k. Just
Hmm.
the computer, for lack of better word.
Yeah. The NVIDIA Thor, I think, is 3K,
Mhm.
3500 if you get the development kit, which is what the 1X Neo is going to ship with. Um, so I don't know. There's just looking at the bill of materials, right? Just looking at the hardware, you know, there's a floor that you're going to be contending with, but these guys are like going way past at 150K. So I would imagine this one, they're going to be, it's probably going to be commercial, right? I think so. In There's a big push in China, right? We talked a little bit about it before. They're having their population. They have a huge population, but it's starting to like go down. So in terms of where they want their economy to be and things like that, they're trying to shore up any deficiencies they might have. Population. So that's why their government is pushing real big into robotics. That's why you see a lot of this development with all of these different companies. They're all pumping out these different humanoids, and these are just the ones that are bubbling to the surface. We've seen like 4 or 5 big ones, but there's 100 of these different companies out there across the world that are pumping out humanoid robots. So they'll think there's just these few. There are actually a lot of robot companies out there creating their humanoids. So for China, they're banking on having these humanoids available so they can have labor, right? So they're thinking they're going to have 62 million jobs replaced by robots by 2050. This is coming from Morgan Stanley worldwide, is what they're thinking. So it's a good chunk of robots over the next 30 years that it's going to be replacing actual physical labor jobs that we've got here. They're thinking it's a $5 trillion global market by 2050 over the next 35 years.
Yeah,
So,
the landscape is going to be interesting because America is not going to allow to have like Chinese robots. So, which is interesting, right? So Tesla has a good edge here. Once again, I'm pretty sad that the open source project, in this case, K-Scale, is just flop. So there has to be a way to have an open source type of a robot, so in that way you let the community keep developing it. We have seen it on Windows and Linux, right? Like when you have like Microsoft, and then Linus Torvald came up with the operating system Linux, like for all, and then basically it was from the Unix one, and he tried to do the open source and catch up, right? Now even
mhm.
like freaking Microsoft and Apple, they use underneath some sort of Linux. So I I feel that maybe that has to happen too. Maybe the K-Scale guys were not able to push it through, but somebody will have to create an open source robot.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think there's a need for it. We need to have a little bit more competition here in the U.S. on the U.S. side, right? We've got a couple of them, right? Neo that have at least bubbled up and made it to the socials. Optimus, but there's always a need for a third and fourth player, right? So there's certainly maybe a market gap here, at least for the U.S. From what we've seen. I mean, we have Boston Dynamics and those guys, so that they could be filling that gap too. We just haven't seen their humanoids necessarily come out um, that are meant for like consumers. I think,
Mm.
but there's a lot here to understand. But just know that these are coming out. XPeng did make the news this week. But there in China, there's this big financial push. In the US, maybe not so much, but we're seeing uh, some signs of this. Maybe OpenAI itself is asking taxpayers for a bailout. Have you heard about this? I don't
No,
know.
but
They're calling it a bailout, but what is it really?
I mean, I don't want to say it's obvious, but they have invested a lot of money and they are bleeding cash. Why? Because they with $20, is people don't realize like how these companies, all of the compute power that it requires. So if you are paying the premium membership from OpenAI, you're not covering their cost. So they are losing money almost every time that a user is using kind of these, right? So looking into their basically they are losing 5 billion per year at the moment, and they are reported to lose in the first half of that was in 2024. In 2025, 13 billions. So it's like it's accelerating the rate of. I
Yeah,
almost
and
picture
in
the.
just last quarter, I think it was 12 billion, right? So
Um,
it's just like it's getting worse and worse. So
well, I feel that also their algorithm is way different. I mean, we saw DeepSeek that it was able to be a very small algorithm to run less compute.
much
So
more
I think that they
efficient.
will have
Hmm.
to be more efficient. They will have to restructure a little bit of the algo on ChatGPT in order to reduce the cost. It's doable, but
Hmm.
I guess Sam Altman is becoming like the Joker, right? And like with the mountain, the mountain of cash. Oh, it's lit on fire.
Well, so here's the thing. This isn't the first time that we hear about Sam Altman that he's saying I need more money. Because I think we did a video. It was over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, saying that he needed $7 trillion to build out his data centers. And
Hmm.
there was he struck a deal with the government, and they did a smaller deal. Maybe I think it was like 500 billion or 1 trillion, something like
Hmm.
that. It was a lot smaller, but he got things going. It seems like now he's like, haha, I'm gonna I'm gonna go back to the well and see. We need to shore up more and get guaranteed loans from Uncle Sam. Now, here's the thing: we know we know we've been talking about this new AI robotics Cold War that's going on. China is obviously doing very well with their robots, and they're investing heavily through their government. Um, the current administration has already said that they want to be number one in on this cutting edge technology with like crypto and AI and things like that. We want to keep the lead there. So it only makes sense now that there needs to be some kind of public private partnership to make sure that the national security is in place for this type of technology. So I think that's why they're like, well, we know the US needs it, the US wants it. We can provide it, but we need more money. These data centers, I guess, aren't cheap to build, right?
Not at all, man. So and they're gonna have to pop because there is no cloud, right? You have to build it. I mean, even the cloud, Amazon has uh, not enough GPUs, right? So no wonder why Nvidia keeps growing and growing because they are the only ones that they have good GPUs. But yeah, I think that this is a little bit of the financial game, right? That Sam is playing, and who has big pockets and who can print money.
Who has a big printer?
And the printer says, "Brrr." "Yep, let's go to Uncle Sam." Eh, you know, eh, the banks did it right in 2008. Why not the techies with their AI and their robots?
They learn from the best, right? Here's the
Yes, yes.
thing. So, like, I think we can all see like why it makes sense to do it, right? Like if we want to stay competitive in this race. But here's you've seen this sentiment across business and the socials and stuff like that, that AI is in a bubble, right? There's an AI bubble. And for whatever reason, people really grab onto that. They're like, AI's in a bubble. It's the boomers. They're just trying to leave us with nothing. And there's a lot of this groundswell from
It's the
younger
boomers.
people, it seems like. And a lot of it, I think, is like, again, I think I can see like there's a need for this, like in terms of if we want to keep the lead in these technologies, which it makes a lot of sense, especially when we're talking about alignment. And if we take the not happy side path of the Terminator, like we want to be in control if that does happen, versus some other country. So I can see that, but I think there's a lot of sentiment like AI is bad. It's taking my job. I'm a digital creator. Now AI can do that. AI bad, boo. And AI is a bubble, and we don't want it. We don't want to bail out the AI company, let them fail. So I don't see those two things. Like, how do you reconcile that? Is one right, one wrong? Or are they both right? What do you think?
It's a is this one is a tough one, but I think that both are right. You cannot you cannot stop technology. Technology now the rabbit it is out of the hat. So if US doesn't want to do it, guess what? China is doing it, and it's ahead of us. You can see it just by the videos, right? Then uh, you still have the unrest on, I guess, in America. Then and their concerns are real, right? Like a person that their livelihood is it was creating videos or whatever, like images, and now they can't. They have to figure out how to leverage the tools. Maybe they used to serve only like few customers. Well, with their expertise, in my opinion, now using AI, they can serve 10 times the customer. So that's where the true creativity and entrepreneurship has to come up. So, but yes, I can see, I'm empathetic to both sides of the equation. I don't know how it's going to play out. It's tough.
We're going to be out of jobs here. Our digital twins are going to be doing podcasts for us here pretty soon, right? It might not be us. You can see our robots up here doing stuff.
Oh man, it's like I hope that they do a better job than us. Like,
Sorry, y'all. We'll get the robots out soon. Don't worry.
oh man, I think that we have a good one, man.
Yeah, I think is good. So, hey, if you guys enjoy the content today, please let us know. Like, subscribe, comment. It makes all the difference in the world. Also, check out our viral videos here of Mando here creating what looks like a questionable piece of hardware, but
It was your gift. It was a gift for you,
he's
Ramirez.
using it to pack. He's using it to pack the sand. So, but check it out. It's got a lot of views out there. So we'll see y'all next time. All right, dale.
All right, dale. Bye.